but actually behind the scenes there are lots and lots of thing goes into the thought process. So few of the new things that I got to know from him is like, whenever you are approaching a interviewer, you should not think it as like, I have curated a solution in my mind. I should be telling him upfront, okay, this is the solution of it. Okay, first of all, you need to understand the problem. If you have any counter question, you should put that forward, and then you have to think, you should take some time, thought of a brute force approach, discuss it with the interviewer, and with that approach he will give you something like, there are chances, this is very rare, but there are chances that the interviewer want you to think in a specific direction, like, could you
Right.
do this, could you do that, that sort of tuning that he want to do. So eventually discussing your approach with the interviewer actually helps the candidate in a in a better manner, because they both are on the same page in terms of the
Correct.
solution that the uh, candidate is thinking, basically. So that is the first thing that I got to know, like, first brainstorm your solution with the interviewer. And on top of that, there are few more things that was new to me, that I was not sure about or knowing. So once you have done your this thing, so while practicing, you should practice your solution on a plain paper. Okay, you should not take any help of compiler or something. The reason behind that is, when you are actually coding something, so companies like Google, I'm not sure whether candidates are aware about this or not, but companies like Google don't ask you to code on a compiler. They simply give you a Google Docs, because I interviewed with Google once, so they have given me
Right.
a particular Google Docs, and the interviewer asked me to code on that. So eventually having that practice helps you to do that in the real interview. So that is one thing. On top of that, it is helpful in some of the other ways. If I have to give you an example, let's suppose when you are writing on a plain paper, you can think of the edge cases. Okay, what are the edge cases where my program can possibly fail? Because
Correct.
my mentor actually told me, when you are actually approach that problem, you have wrote down. Okay, don't just upfront go and submit it. Okay, first of all, you have to think whether there is any flaw in my code, whether this will throw me an error, because this will sound very stupid if there is a if else indentation or some of the basic error that you are about to run the code and it will throw that error. Okay,
Mhm.
so you told me,
Correct.
first have a dry run in your mind, that what are the possible edge cases and what are the syntax errors that could possibly lead you to failure. Okay, so first level of thought process, he told me, like, you have to think of this, and then you have to first ask the interviewer, so this is the code I come up with, this is the approach, just have a dry run with the interviewer, and then ask his permission to run the code. Don't just go up front and just keep on running the code just to filter out your errors, syntax error, and all of these things,
Mhm.
which doesn't look good in terms of if you are a interviewer. It doesn't look good if somebody is having a trouble having if else cases in a wrong way, like some indentation error, he is not able to write the basic if else. So yeah,
Correct.
that is few of the learning that I can.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. So basically, in my case, the challenge that I was facing, see, I can be able to solve a problem, as I was telling you. The problem was how to approach it in a realistic manner. So whenever I'm solving alone. There's nobody monitoring me. There's a lot of what to say, seriousness in the entire atmosphere when you are getting interviewed. Okay, you get sweaty because there are chances that you know the answer but you cannot be able to write it. Okay, because the scenario, the atmosphere is like in that way. So that kind of mock sessions actually help me to build the confidence to approach an interviewer in a very friendly manner, because these kind of mock tests actually help you to have some sort of better understanding ki how an possible interview could look like, how you should approach a problem, what are the different timestamps that you have to keep in mind. Like, let's suppose if you have an interview of 60 minutes, so you can possibly discuss with your mentor, like, within how much of time I should be thinking of a solution, within how much of time I should having that dry run with the interviewer, So all that sort of timelines that he can possibly help you with, and you can possibly practice with him, that actually give you a very good boost in terms of when you are approaching an actual interview, you won't be nervous in that manner.
Right.
Have taken his help in few of the like checkpoints. Okay, so I
Okay.
have done whatever I know at my best. I have get it reviewed from him. He have given a different perspective on each and everything that I have curated. It could be resume, it could be the system design knowledge that I'm holding, because I was reading about system design a lot and lot. So I have few of the mock interviews in system designs also. So he have come up with a test on the scenario, like could you develop this, could you design this, all that of mock interview. So we had different session on system design, we have different session on DSL Go, and there are few more behavioral. So so basically there are few rounds that nobody can possibly give it that hands-on experience. Okay, because he is having so much of knowledge that he can possibly act like the interviewer, whatever the
Right.
role that you give him. Okay, I asked him to do a behavioral round with me, because that is something that you never get access to. Okay, whenever you go for an interview behavioral round, you have very less resources online also. So he have
Right.
tackle, I think, n number of interviews, so he know what he should be asking and how I should be approaching towards that problem, because every interview ends up with that follow up questions that he gave me. Okay, research about this, learn how to answer these kind of questions. So I am having enough homework, so that I before appearing for the next session, I can complete that homework, and based on that we can further have follow up sessions. So that actually helped me to gain confidence, because I have already approached that kind of scenario earlier with Rishabh. To be very frank, there was scenarios where I was approaching an interview where I know the solution, then also I was not able to do it because of the nervousness, because that atmosphere you don't have that sort of familiarity. Okay, because
Right.
there is somebody monitoring you each and every step, the thought process that you are doing. Okay, so having that sort of trial session gives you that confidence, as well as if I do it myself, I think so the timeline is very cut to cut. Okay, you have only specific 15 minute 30 minute based on the kind of interview you have given that time. Okay, and which is very cut to cut with that problem. If you get lost during an interview, there are very less hope that you will crack that interview, because they also expect you to practice well,
Right.
and you should be able to solve that lead code. Like if it is an easy problem, you should be doing thought process, explaining to the interviewer, writing that code, dry running that particular code with the interviewer, and then coming up with a result, and then the follow-up questions. Okay, everything should finish within a time frame of 15 to 20 minutes. So that needs a lot and lot of practice, and that practice can possibly be done if there's a friend, but friend is having the same level of knowledge that you are having. So having a mentor eventually help you, because he
Right.
is sitting at some level that you want, that you are looking forward to. So
And
having that sort of session, I cannot think beyond if he is not there, I don't know how my interview will be like, because the
understood.
interview that I've given, I can feel that confidence that he actually helped. It's like holding the hands and just telling him, this is how I approach this path, and you can possibly do it following my path. Think when you are going for a trial session, I think you should get your goals aligned. You should tell your mentor that what is your target. Like if you're looking for a just one, just get your career started. It doesn't matter whether you're going for a service based company or a product based company. So you should tell your goals. What are the timeline? Because in my case, I was very specific with Rishabh that I am looking to get a place within 3 months of my tenure, and how I should be planning for next 3 months. So having that sort of clarity is really required with your mentor. So during the trial session only, you can come up, you can be very transparent with him that this is my goal, could you help me reach that goal? If not, then you should get a trial session from other people, because eventually there will be a good match in that case. So yeah, having a trial session will definitely help you in that way. So yeah, and expectation should be there, because you are paying for what you are getting. So you should should set your right expectation, because eventually if you get into the mentor, and if you haven't told him what are your goals, so if you are lacking behind, it is not a failure from the mentor side, because he's not aware what is your goals. Because after 2 months, if you tell him, okay, this I was thinking that I should get after 2 months, and I'm not going with the pace that I thought of, okay, it's not the mentor's fault, because you haven't told him upfront. So you should be very transparent in that way with your mentor. And there's a very good thing that I would say: whenever you have any interview, there are chances it will go bad, okay. So you don't feel disheartened, you just discuss it with your mentor, because they will eventually help you understand how to go through that phase, because they also have been go through a number of failures. Because disheartening yourself will eventually getting you yourself demotivated, and there will be time that is getting wasted in that process. So eventually, whenever you have a bad time, you can just dial your mentor, and you can possibly tell him your interview experience, what went wrong. He could possibly tell you how to improve it. He can possibly tell you, because that is how I had the bond with Rishabh, where whenever I have a interview went good or bad, because at times you feel like the interview went well, but actually it doesn't. Because when you tell him this is how I approach that problem, he could have told you, okay, you should think for your next interview in this way, because this is the more organized manner. So yeah, that actually helped both in whenever the interview went bad or went good, okay. So yeah, transparency is the key in that case. Whatever you are doing, if you're lacking in, so you have come up with a benchmark of 1 month. In 1 month you have decided, okay, we should be done with hash tables, hash maps, and binary search tree, and there are a few topics that you have thought of, but you can be able to finish only one topic. So instead of giving excuses, you should be telling him upfront, there are few of the meeting because of what I held up, and because of what I am lacking behind, that he can possibly figure it out and help you get you better, have your schedule plan in that way, so that you can have a realistic targets for next coming months, okay. So yeah, transparency is the key in that way. In the So another suggestion that I can make is having that benchmark session with your mentor will actually help you, because benchmark tasks actually help the mentor understand your level of understanding, so that he can come up with a 1 month and 3 month plan which will look more realistic to you. Because let's suppose if you are very beginner in DSA, and he have given you some 4 5 topics to cover in 1 month, which is not very realistic, because it will take time for you to cover topics in 1 month. But eventually after 1 month you can pick the pace, okay. So he can come up with that sort of schedule, because in my case I was having some sort of familiarity. So we have curated our with the benchmark task, he get to know, okay, what is my expertise level, and based on that he have come up with a plan that actually worked for me to get a job. And since I was very specific, so at times when the week was very hectic for me, when I cannot be able to cover lots of things, then he can possibly, that time he usually tells me, "Ki, okay, next week we will target more, because I can see there is bandwidth, there are holidays coming, so let's try to cover it." And sessions also sometime, so per week we were decided for 2 sessions, but in some of the weeks we can be able to do 1 session. So in the next week we plan that way, we will cover 3 sessions, and I can take best out of the session. So yeah, having that sort of transparency actually helped me. And the best thing, I think, whenever I had a bad day, in terms of the interview, I could possibly reach out to him, and I can talk to him upfront. That gives me a huge motivation, and that is the key to your success, because every minute counts. So disheartening yourself, feeling yourself demotivated, wasting 1 day, 2 day, 3 day doesn't make sense. Instead, you discuss your failures with your mentor. He tell you where you can possibly improve to get your next job, because I can see the difference from my first interview to one of my recent interviews, the kind of learning and the growth that I had. So yeah, I think you should be very transparent. So few of the takeaways is like, you should be transparent, you should set your goals right with your mentor, and you should have that sort of target setting for 1 month, 3 month, and you should have a follow-up session if you are lacking behind, why and how you can possibly cover it up. So yeah, that will be my message for a new aspirant who want to have his career started, or who want to get a good promotion in his next career jump.